It's a day of power moves. Trump and Putin set for an Alaska face-off. Adani fights $1 billion patent battle. India and China prepare to reopen the skies. Parliament rewrites the tax rulebook, and the cabinet fuels a massive push for chips, metros and clean energy. Good morning. Welcome to Top of the Morning by Mint, your daily shot of sharp business intel, global trends and market movers. It's Wednesday, August 13th. I'm Nelson John. Let's get started. The White House has confirmed U.S. President Donald Trump will meet Russian President Vladimir Putin in Anchorage, Alaska on Friday, August 15th, a neutral midway point between Washington and Moscow. Trump says he'll know in the first 2 minutes whether a Ukraine deal is possible. The meeting is billed as a feel-out session, with outcomes ranging from a push for a ceasefire to a walkaway. Putin wants to lock in Russia's territorial gains since the 2022 invasion, while Trump is pressing for a truce. A prospect critics fear could favor Moscow if Kyiv isn't at the table. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has not been invited, with Trump saying he might hold a follow-up meeting including Zelensky and Putin. He insists he won't make a deal himself, but will brief Kyiv and European leaders afterward. European capitals are uneasy. Germany will host a virtual meeting on Wednesday with Trump, Zelensky, NATO chiefs, and EU leaders. Chancellor Friedrich Merz's office stressed Ukraine must decide its own fate and borders must not be shifted by force. The Adani Group's 3,000 crore rupee a year solar exports to the US are under a legal cloud after American giant First Solar accused its unit Mundra Solar PV Limited (MSPVL) of infringing 2 patents tied to Topcon's solar cell manufacturing. Both firms have taken the dispute to a Delaware court, with each demanding a jury trial. First Solar says Adani copied key steps in its patented process. Allegations MSPVL denies, arguing its manufacturing skips the heat treatment central to First Solar's method and produces a different product. Experts note Adani's defense could succeed if its process avoids both literal infringement and doctrine equivalence, though First Solar may still argue the similarities are close enough. The case comes as Indian solar makers gain from a US 50% tariff on Chinese cells, with Adani's US sales delivering higher margins and over half of MSPVL's revenue. The unit posted 6,353 crore rupees in revenue FY25, with profits jumping more than 5-fold. Beyond the patent fight, the Adani Group faces a separate SEC and DOJ probe into alleged $250 million in bribes to Indian officials for solar contracts. Charges it calls baseless. After 4 years of grounded skies, India and China could see direct flights roaring back as soon as September. Sources say New Delhi has told Indian carriers to be ready at short notice, with an official green light likely during the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit in China later this month. Indigo is already preparing routes. The last time planes flew non-stop between the two countries was before the pandemic. Then came the Galwan Valley clash of June 2020, which left 20 Indian soldiers, at least 4 Chinese troops dead, sending relations into a deep freeze. India banned dozens of Chinese apps, while travel between the two giants got reduced to multi-stop journeys via hubs like Singapore and Hong Kong. There have been recent signs of thaw. Last month, India resumed tourist visas for Chinese nationals. Earlier this year, both sides agreed to restart the Kailash Mansarovar Yatra and boost exchanges between media and think tanks. If schedules are restored, expected routes linking Delhi, Mumbai and Kolkata with Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou and Kunming, once home to over a dozen weekly direct flights. Adding weight to the reset, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is expected in Tianjin on August 31st for the first China visit in 7 years. Beijing has welcomed the trip, calling the SCO summit a gathering of solidarity and friendship. After more than 6 decades, India is set to scrap the Income Tax Act of 1961. On Tuesday, Parliament passed the Income Tax Bill 2025, a complete rewrite aimed at simplifying tax laws without changing rates. The Rajya Sabha cleared it by voice vote, days after the Lok Sabha passed it in just 3 minutes amidst noisy opposition protests. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman called the old law outdated and cluttered after decades of piecemeal changes. Now, the new version cuts the word count nearly in half, trims the law to 536 sections, and replaces confusing terms like assessment year with a single tax year. It also reintroduces some deductions, such as for intercorporate dividends and pensions, and allows TDS refunds even for late filings. What doesn't change here is tax slabs, corporate rates, offences and penalties. The bill also empowers the CBDT to expand tech-driven faceless assessments and slash litigation. But not all changes are welcome. The law keeps provisions allowing tax officers to search premises, seize assets and bypass passwords on digital devices if undeclared income is suspected, raising privacy concerns. Opposition MPs staged walkouts, linking their protests to unrelated political issues. The government says it incorporated almost all 285 select committee recommendations after 75,000 hours of drafting. Now the next stop is President Draupadi Murmu's assent. If signed, the new law kicks in April 1st, 2026, ending the 64-year reign of the 1961 Act. The Union Cabinet has signed off on a massive 18,500 crore rupee package to boost manufacturing and infrastructure, with semiconductors taking center stage. 4 new chip projects in Odisha, Punjab and Andhra Pradesh have been approved, lifting the total number of sanctioned projects under the India Semiconductor Mission to 10 since Micron's Gujarat plant last year. Among them, a silicon carbide semiconductor fab and chip packaging plant by Saisim in Bhubaneswar, and an advanced glass substrate packaging unit by Heterogeneous Integration Packaging Solutions. Andhra Pradesh will get a packaging facility from ASIP and tie up with South Korea's APACT. Industry experts say the Saisim project is a strategic win, crucial for high-voltage industrial applications from railways to space launches. The 4 projects will cost about 4,600 crore rupees and create over 2,000 skilled jobs. On the power front, the cabinet approved the 8,146 crore rupee Thao 2 hydroelectric project in Arunachal Pradesh, a 700 megawatt plant expected to generate over 2.7 billion units of energy. It comes with central support for roads, bridges and transmission lines, and is part of India's 2030 clean energy goals. Lucknow Metro also gets a green light for Phase 1B, an 11.16 kilometer stretch with 12 stations that will take the city's network to 34 kilometers, costing about 5,801 crore rupees. It's a triple push: chips to power the future, clean energy to fuel it, and metros to move it. That's all for today. Thank you for joining in. We're eagerly looking forward to our next Top of the Morning episode, which will be packed with the latest news. Until then, this is Nelson John signing off. Have a great day.